In this video, we will practice factoring trinomials when they are in the form of x squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so we have the first example here. We have x squared plus 9x plus 8. As we learned before, that we need two numbers and their product must be 8 and the sum should be 9. So, and every sign is positive, so the answer will be in the form of this: x plus something times x plus something. Okay, so the number will be 8 times 1, we can get 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So this is perfect. We get 8 and 1. Some students might put 4 times 2, that is 8, but 4 plus 2 is 6. We need 9. Again, we will take a look at another example. We have x squared plus 8x plus 15. And again, the answer will be in the form of this. And we need two numbers where we multiply, we get 15. And the sum, the addition is positive 8. So we can do 15 times 1, or we can do 5 times 3. I think this is appropriate. And 5 plus 3 is 8. So x plus 5 times x plus 3. Okay, let's take a look at one more positive example, then we will start with the negative signs. So we have x squared plus 21x plus 20. Okay, so we need two numbers where we multiply, we get 20, and when we add them, we get 21. Most of you will think, well, this is 5 times 4, but we don't get 21 when 5 plus 4 is actually 9. So 7, 10 times 2 we can do, but 10 plus 2 is not 21. So the only number 2 we have, 20 times 1 is 20, and 20 plus 1 is 21. So the answer for this one will be x plus 20 times x plus 1. Okay, now we will take a look at some of the negative examples with the negative signs. X squared minus 4x plus 3. Remember, we learned that if the second term, which is 4x, is negative, that means all the factors will be negative. That means the answer will be in the form of x minus something, x minus something. This is just pattern. You just have to remember, when the second term is the negative, then everything will be negative. So now we need two numbers that we multiply, we get 3, but when the sum will be negative 4. So you can think of, let's say, 3 times 1 is 3, but what about the subtractions? Well, I just said that both the factors will be negative sign. So it will be negative 3 times and minus negative 1. So we get negative 4. Over here is minus, and we get negative 3. So this will be x minus 3, x minus 1. Let's take a look at one more example similar to this, and it will clear your confusion. We have x squared minus 6x plus 8. So as I said, we need two numbers where we get the product 8 and the sum will be negative 6. And both the numbers, the factors, will be negative. Why? Because the second term is negative. 6x is negative. So both the factors will be minus the negative terms. So what are two numbers? Well, we can think of 8 times 1, but negative 8 minus 1 is negative 9. So that is not the answer. So we need, let's say, 4 and 2. So negative 4 times negative 2, we get positive 8, because minus sign and minus sign becomes plus, positive sign, and the sum will be negative 4 minus 2 will be negative 6. So this will be x minus 4, x minus 2. Okay, now let's do one practice problem with a similar pattern. We have x squared minus 13x plus 22. Again, we know there is a negative sign. 13x is negative, the second term, that means everything will be negative, all the factors. We need two numbers, well, that can be 2 times 11 or 22 times 1. I think 11 and 2 will be better match. 2 times 11, both are negative, so we get plus 22, and we have negative 2 minus 11, and we get minus 13 or negative 13. So the answer will be x minus 2, x minus 11. Doesn't matter wherever you write 11 or 2, the answer is same. Okay, so how about when the negative sign is present with the third term, like this one? Well, when the negative sign is over here, then the factor, the number, whatever the factor is bigger, that will be positive. For example, over here is 11, this will become bigger. This will become positive and 2 will become negative. So I'll explain you. I will write the answer first in the form of x plus something times x minus something. So remember, the positive, this will be the bigger factor. So what are the factors of 8? 8 times 1, 4 times 2. So let's take a look at 4 times negative 2, because number 2 is smaller, right? So that will be negative. We got negative 8, 4 minus 2, that is 2. So x plus 4, x minus 2. Remember the two factors. What are the factors? 4 and 2. The smaller number will be negative. That is 2 will be negative. Why? Because the last term is negative. I will give you one more example to clarify this. Okay, so let's say we have x squared plus 7x minus 18. Again, we have the last term as negative, right? So we need two numbers that we get negative 18 when we multiply them, and the sum will be positive 7. So you can think of 6 times 3. Sure, that gives us 18, but 6 plus 3 or 6 minus 3, it is not 7. So we can take a look at 9 and 2. When 9 and 2 multiply, we get 18, but we need a negative 18. So in order to get negative 18, remember this one of these two numbers should be negative, and I said when the last term is negative, then the factor, the smaller factor will be negative. That means 2 will be negative, and 9 minus 2 is 7. So the answer for this one will be x plus 9, x minus 2. Okay, so now we will take a look at when all the terms are negative. How do we solve it then? We have x squared minus 13x minus 14. So in this scenario, our bigger factor, whatever the bigger factor for 14 will be, that will become negative. So x minus something times x plus something. So what are two numbers that we multiply, we get 14? First two numbers that comes to our mind is 7 times 2 is 14. But when we subtract or add, we do not get negative 13. So the another number can be 14 times 1 is 14. And I said the bigger number will be negative. So 14 is bigger than 1. So 14 will be negative. So we get negative here. And negative 14 plus 1 is negative 13. So x minus 14, x plus 1. I will give you two more examples, something similar to this. Let's say we have x squared minus 5x minus 24. So again, the bigger number in the factors will be negative, the smaller one will be positive. So what are two numbers? 6 times 4, that's 24, but we don't get 5 when we subtract or add it. But 8 times 3 is 24, and I said the bigger number will be negative. So 8 and 3, what are the bigger? 8 is bigger, so we have negative 24, and minus 8 plus 3 we get negative 5. So x minus 8, x plus 3. Let's take a look at one last example where both the signs are negative. We have x squared minus 11x minus 26. Again, one factor will be negative, one will be positive. And what is negative? The bigger factor. So what are the two factors of 26? Well, you can think of 2 times 13 or 26 times 1. I think 2 times 13 will be better. We have 26, but we need negative 26. In order to get that, the bigger number will be negative 13. So 2 minus 13, it is negative 11. So x minus 13, x plus 2.